Well, I'm in favor of that EO kasi it makes our consultation more efficient, no? Kasi lahat na in a streamline na lahat. Dati when we filed our case sa The Hague, ang hirap humanap ng mga data. Kasi ang data nakakalat sa kung ano-anong agency, anong office. So ngayon, magkakaroon na ng structure, no? Tsaka may overseer na, and it will be more streamlined. So this is very good kasi yung sa atin foreign service, for example, may bit-bit system sila eh. Yung mga records nila when they retire, bit-bit nila yon. So there is no central repository of all the information, all the data. Alam mo naman, napaka-importante yung data ngayon, no? Because you must may mga bagong dumadating na opisyales, dapat alam nila ano yung nangyari in the past, no? So there is what we call institutional memory. Kailangan ito for institutional memory para hindi tayo mabigla, no? Pag may bagong administration, andoon yung mga records. Nagawa yan ng ibang bansa, ng Vietnam, ng Malaysia, meron silang ganyan eh. Tayo ngayon lang, no? I was trying to push for a law instead of an executive order before, no? Pero walang interest yung Congress at that time. So mabuti na lang in the meantime we have this EO. So this is good. Madami kasing turf war eh. Alam mo naman, yung iba mawawalaan sila ng papel. At saka during the time of Duterte, wala namang priority itong defending the West Philippine Sea, no? Ngayon lang ito. So, well, it's never too late. It's good that we finally done it, although maganda sana kung batas talaga. Pero okay na ito. First of all, ang sabi ni Harry, status quo. But hindi yan ang status quo eh. Ang status quo, at the time that President Duterte came to office, we were fixing inaayos na natin, rini-repair na natin yung Sierra Madre. So, yung nag-agree sila na ang status quo, pagkain at tubig lang papadala, hindi yun ang status quo. Dehado tayo doon. Kasi everybody knows na yung BRP Sierra Madre, lulubog na. Rusty na yan eh. Kinakalawang na yan eh. So there is really need to retrofit it, no? To repair it para at least tumagal tayo dyan. Kasi pag lumubog yan, wala na tayong presence dyan. No? Papasok na yung Tsina. So yung pumayag sila na tubig at pagkain lang, numbered na yung days ng the days of Sierra Madre were numbered already kasi ang rust ko continue, ang dilapidation ko continue. So, dehado tayo doon. At saka, secondly, yung ginawa ni Duterte yan, lumabas na yung Arbitral Award kasi July 12, 2016 eh. Naging presidente siya June, noon of June of 2016. So, may Arbitral Award na. Ang sinabi ng Arbitral Award, yung Ayungin Shoal, part of the EEZ, Exclusive Economic Zone of the Philippines. So, dapat hindi na sila pumayag. Kasi pag part ng EEZ natin, we have the sole right to put up a structure there. Ang nangyari, pumayag tayo na we will not do anything. That's against our right as the coastal state, as jurisdiction over the EEZ, no? Kasi sabi ng tribunal, yung Ayungin Shoal EEZ ng Pilipinas yan. That means we can put up a structure there. In fact, tayo lang pwede maglagay ng structure. Pumayag yung Duterte administration na wala nang gagawin. Papadala ng pagkain at tubig lang. That's yung lifespan ng Sierra Madre numbered na, no? The days of the Sierra Madre would be numbered kasi talagang pasira ng yung structure. Klaro naman sinabi ng Arbitral Award, part of the Exclusive Economic Zone of the Philippines yung Ayungin Shoal. The President has no power has no authority to waive that. Kasi it can only be waived in a treaty. Hindi pwedeng pamimigay niya lang. Hindi naman sa kanya yung personal. The process has to be followed. That will need a treaty, no, to be ratified by the Senate. So, of course, ang mangyari niyan, wala namang mag-file sa kanya o hindi naman mag-prosper pag finailan siya ng impeachment kasi hawak niya naman yung Congress. Hawak niya yung House at saka Senate at that time. But pag ang tanong mo, is that impeachable? I think it's impeachable. Culpable violation of the Constitution kasi sinabi ng Constitution sa Ligang Batas natin, the state must protect its marine wealth in its exclusive economic zone. Must protect its marine wealth in its exclusive economic zone and reserve its use and enjoyment exclusively for Filipinos. Hindi niya pinoprotektahan kasi pumayag siya na hindi na aayusin yung Sierra Madre. Hindi na tatagal yung outpost natin doon. Trail of public trust, catch-all provision yan eh. Pwede mo ibagsak lahat ng mga reason dyan eh. So yung dalawang provision na yun, pwedeng gagamitin yun. Well, first of all, since it's a gentleman's agreement, that's only an agreement between the two gentlemen. No? Gentlemen kuno sila. So between President Z and President Duterte, it is not binding to the successor of Duterte or Z. Kaya tama yung ginawa ni President BBM. No? Sabi niya, if there is such an agreement, I rescind it. Kasi delikado yon. Baka sabihin ng China, oh, you are bound also by that. Malaking problema yon. So tama yung ginawa niya. Sinabi niya kagad, walang agreement, wala namang kasulatan, walang record ang DFA, walang record sa Malacanang na may agreement na ganyan. Pero kung meron mang ganyan agreement, I rescind it. Tama yon. That's the correct thing to do. Pag sumunod tayo sa gentleman's agreement nila, mawawala yung Ayungin Shoal. Sigurado yon. Kasi lulubog yung Sierra Madre, wala tayong outpost. So the only way we can keep that is to continue the outpost. So dapat magmatigas tayo to continue the outpost. Dapat yan, in fact, ang proposal ko to convert that to a civilian presence, civilian structure. Magtayo tayo ng lighthouse at saka Marine Research Center. Pag hininto ng China ang pagdala natin ng mga materials sa Ayungin Shoal to construct the lighthouse and Marine Research Center, then we go to the UNCLOS Tribunal kasi that's part of our EEZ. Under UNCLOS, we are the only one who can put up a structure there. At saka valid yun eh. The purpose is lighthouse for navigation at saka yung research center to manage, to preserve the fish and other the giant clams and other species there, no? So kasi that's allowed under UNCLOS. You can put up a structure to preserve the marine environment, and that's precisely the purpose of a marine research center, to preserve the marine environment and to prevent the Chinese fishermen. Kasi pag wala tayo doon, papasok yung mga Chinese fishermen, sisirain nila yung reef para makuha nila yung giant clams. Nangyari yan recently sa Skoda Shoal at Rusol Reef, no? Kaya that's why we're planning, the DOJ is planning to file a case for destruction of the environment. Hindi nila magawa yan sa Ayungin Shoal kasi andun tayo. Pero pag wala na tayo dyan, dadating na yung mga Chinese fishermen, uubusin na nila yun. Sirain nila yung coral reef para they can extract, makuha nila yung mga giant clams na patay na kasi hindi naman yung meat ng giant clams ang gusto nila. Gusto nila yung shell kasi yun, pag kinarve nila yon, napaka-expensive na yon, no? Okay, let's break it down. No? Sabi nila, in the long course of history, sa kanila na raw yan. Sabi nila, since 2,000 years ago. But yung China, in the 1990s, under the People's Republic of China, published all the ancient maps of China, from the Song Dynasty to the even earlier, the Tang Dynasty to the last dynasty, yung Qing Dynasty. And lahat ng mga official dynasty maps of China, their southernmost territory was Hainan. Hindi nila sinama yung Paracels, hindi nila sinama yung Spratly or Scarborough Shoal. Makita mo sa lahat ng mapa nila, official map of all the Chinese dynasties from the beginning to the last dynasty. The last dynasty was the Qing dynasty. It ended in 1912. Dinagay nila yan sa 3-volume atlas. Walang makita doon na kanila yung Spratlys or Paracels or Scarborough Shoal. So yung in the long course of history, false yan. Peke yan. Fake. Now, sabi nila, consistent law with international law. Hindi pwede because Ayungin Shoal is not territory. It's submerged at high tide. So, since it's beyond the territorial sea of any high tide feature at saka submerged pag high tide, it is not territory. It cannot be claimed as territory. It is not subject to sovereignty. Kaya yan ang sabi ng tribunal, hindi ito land territory. Hindi pwedeng i-claim yan as a sovereign territory. That is part of the EEZ lang. The coastal state has no sovereignty over the EEZs. Sovereign rights lang. Certain limited rights like the exclusive right to fish and the exclusive right to get all the mineral resources, living and non-living resources. Pero yung ownership of the area itself, it's not owned. You only can own the resources, but the sea itself, that's open to freedom of navigation and overflight. Kasi nasa EEZ yan. So, mali rin. Ang sabi nila, in accordance with international law, hindi. Klaro yan sa arbitral award na hindi pwede yan angkinin as a sovereign territory. So yung dalawang issue na ni-raise nila na in the long course of history, na-address na natin yon. Kasi yung mapa nila, wala naman nakalagay doon yung Shoal o Spratly. Tapos yung international law, klaro naman because yun nga ang ruling ng International Tribunal. Okay, yung wala rong consent nila, no? That we initiated it unilaterally without their consent. Under UNCLOS, the moment you ratify, you give your consent in advance to any future arbitration. Nakalagay yan doon eh. The moment you become a party to UNCLOS, sinasabi mo, pag merong arbitration na ilalatag against us in the future, we will join. Yan ang tawag compulsory jurisdiction. So, for example, does not appear, the tribunal will continue with the case and issue a decision. Nakalagay yan doon eh. So, yung sinasabi na China wala raw consent, nag-consent sila because required yan. To be a party to UNCLOS, you have to give your consent in advance to any future arbitration that could be filed against you. And you also agree na pag hindi ka nag-appear, tutuloy yung kaso. You cannot stop the case by not appearing. Tutuloy yung kaso and the tribunal will issue an award. Kaya yan, that is exactly what happened. At saka yung sinabi nila na it is a territorial issue. Ang sinabi ng tribunal, ang territorial issue is kung sino may-ari nitong Scarborough Shoal. Territorial yan. Pero yung sasabihin na yung Scarborough Shoal may traditional fishing rights ang ibang bansa, that is a maritime issue. Decision ng tribunal na Scarborough Shoal is high tide at saka it's high tide, it's territory, pero it's not capable of human habitation. Hindi talaga pwede to live there kasi bato lahat yun. Wala namang not a single blade of grass. You cannot survive there. So sabi ng tribunal, itong Scarborough Shoal is high tide, pero it's not capable of human habitation. So walang EEZ ito. Territorial sea lang, 12 nautical mile lang. If it is habitable, it's entitled to an EEZ of 200 nautical mile. Yung issues na yon, maritime yon. Ang sovereignty, territorial issue is sino ba may-ari nito? The tribunal did not rule on that. In Ayungin Shoal, sinabi ng tribunal, low tide, hindi ito territory. pag sabi ng tribunal low tide, that is a maritime issue. Kasi low tide is a maritime, hindi territory. So, klarong-klaro, lahat ng mga scholars on the law of the sea nakakaintindi. And they agree with the tribunal's ruling. Ito lang China kasi of course, kaya ayaw nga sila sumali sa arbitration. Alam nila matatalo sila kasi wala talagang base yung sinasabi nila. They are just using might. They're just using their warships, their fighter planes to intimidate us. Yan ang nangyayari dyan. Maritime entitlement lang. Wala namang sinabi ang tribunal na Scarborough Shoal belongs to the Philippines. Territory kasi ang Scarborough. Walang ganyan eh. They very clear. Sabi nila, we are not ruling as to what sovereignty over Scarborough Shoal because it is high tide feature. Klaro yun. Wala silang pakialam because we have exclusive right to put up a structure there, no? Tsaka we have the exclusive right to exploit the resources as long as we don't damage the marine environment. Tayo, hindi natin sinisira yung coral reef. Sila ang sumisira ng coral reef kahit na hindi sa kanila. Okay. Yung sinasabi nila na we promised, there is no evidence. Wala silang mapakitang dokumento. Wala silang maturo na tao. Lahat na presidente natin said no, we did not promise. Si Erap, wala. Okay, let's go one by one. Si Fidel Ramos, wala naman. Kasi nobody's pointing to Fidel Ramos. I was part of his administration. Wala kaming pinag-usapan na ganyan. Second, si Estrada, dininay ni Estrada through his two children, the two senators, no? Tapos si GMA, nag-deny din. Wala namang tinuturo sila na si GMA. Ngayon si Pinoy, of course wala. Wala si Pinoy. So si Duterte na lang ang naiwan. Dinideny rin ni Duterte. Dinideny nila. So wala silang maturo. At saka secondly, bakit tayo after July 12, 2016 when the arbitral award was issued, wala nang we have a right already confirmed na EEZ natin yan. Tayo lang pwedeng tumayo ng struktura doon. Tayo lang pwedeng to exploit the natural resources. Bakit pa tayo mag-promise after July 2016? Wala na yon. Nobody can promise anymore kasi klarong-klaro sa atin yon. And it's part of our EEZ. Inaakusa nila yung media, foreign and local, na minimanipulate raw nila. Sinagot na sila Hindi sila nag-manipulate at saka as is. Pwede nilang i-examine yung video. Wala namang spicing doon Tsaka I think that's really ridiculous to charge the international media, including the local media, na they made up those footage, no? Or they tampered with the footage. Hindi na kailangan matamper kasi klarong-klaro ang lakas ng yung water cannon nila. Paano mo matamper yan? Klarong-klaro they use the water cannon. Tsaka yung mga our personnel in those two vessels were seriously injured, no? So talagang binabaliktad nila. Alam mo, pwede nila gawin sa China yan kasi walang freedom of the press Pwede nilang baliktarin yung facts. Pero dito sa Philippines at saka international media, hindi nila pwede baliktarin yung facts. Talagang lalabanan sila. Alam nila, talagang they're just lying through their teeth. Yung wala silang pake kasi ganyan sila sa China in their domestic sphere, ganyan sila. They will twist the truth and nobody can complain. Gagawin nila dito yan sa Philippines or with foreign journalists, talagang lalaban. Pagtatawanan sila. Well, simple lang. Yung America is not claiming our territory, is not claiming our maritime zone. It is China that is claiming our territory and claiming our maritime zone. Kaya lumalaban tayo. Hindi natin kalaban ng US, tumutulong lang sa atin. Pero ang sinasabi ng China, this is the fight between China and the US. Paano fight between China and the US? Atin yung atin yung isla na they're trying to seize. Atin yung maritime zone that they're trying to seize. Binabaliktad nila na sabihin nila na kasalanan ng US ito, sila ang nag-i-invade sa atin Siyempre tayo, sovereign state, lalaban tayo. Hindi naman tayo mga duwag Pag inangkin yung ating teritoryo, inangkin yung ating karagatan, lalaban tayo. Kaya lumalaban tayo, kahit na wala yung US, lalaban pa rin tayo. Papasalamat lang tayo na may ally tayo. Pero kahit natanggalin mo yung US, lalaban pa rin tayo. At saka, simple lang Ang sagot ko dyan, wag na kayo pumasok sa maritime zone namin. Sumunod lang kayo sa Arbitral Award. Yung US, wala nang bases dito sa amin. Yung 5 bagong EDCA sites, hindi na namin kailangan yon. So, you recognize the Arbitral Award, we will cut off the 5 additional EDCA sites. Ayaw nila. So, sila talaga ang kalaban. Simple lang. Hintuin nila yung pag-encroach, pag-seize ng ating isla at saka mga maritime zones. Then, we don't need to have additional EDCA sites. So simple yan. If they want us to stop the EDCA sites, wag na tayong, they stop invading our maritime zone and island territories. Yun lang. Ang issue, they are invading us. We are just protecting what is ours, and we are asking the world to help us. And one of these countries is the US. Madami yan, hindi lang US. UK, France, Japan, South Korea, India, tumutulong, Australia. Well, tingin ko, it's imperialism. China is still an imperialist state. They still want to expand, not only sa South China Sea, they want to expand in the Himalayas. Kalaban nila yung India, Nepal, and even Bhutan, no? They want to grab more territory. It's pure greed. Ang layo naman tayo. We are not close neighbor of China. You have to cross the high seas for the Chinese to reach the Philippines. We are not close neighbors. Sila lang nagsasabi close neighbors tayo. Kasi ang kanila, yung boundary daw is the 9-10 dash line. Kaya malapit sa atin. Pag talagang yun ang boundary, talagang close neighbor tayo. Pero inimbento lang nila yung 10 dash line na yan. So it's purely greed. They want more territory, more resources. It's pure greed. It's imperialism.
Nagustuhan niyo ba ang ganitong pagtalakay? Mag-follow sa Informador FB page at mag-subscribe sa Informador YouTube channel. Ang Informador ay nilikha ng mga staff ni Atty. Ricky Tumuturgo, aka Insurrecto, upang lalong lumawak ang inaabot ng pagpapalaganap ng katotohanan at labanan ang fake